positive behavioral interventions and supports. My name is Renae Azziz, and I'm a National Professional Development Trainer and CEO of Virtuoso Education Consulting. I'm glad that you're interested in learning more about using PBIS to meet the needs of your students. Let's get started right away with a definition. School-wide positive behavior interventions and supports is a systematic, team-based decision-making framework for providing prevention and early intervention behavior supports that enhance both academic and behavior outcomes for students. Now, historically, the focus of supporting behavior needs within the school context has really been about remediation of problematic student behaviors. It's typically been reactive in nature and really aligned with offering punitive disciplinary measures rather than proactive strategies. The thinking is that we address behavior punitively after a student misbehaves, and we do this because we believe that if we offer a consequence and that consequence is significant enough, we can actually change undesired behavior. The focus of PBIS, however, is on the systematic prevention of problems, and it's on early intervention. It's on the development of pro-social skills and the use of data to drive problem solving in order to really meet the needs of all students. A successful PBIS program helps to create a positive school climate, and it helps to reduce the number of behavioral infractions and subsequently the need for disciplinary measures, thus increasing your time for instruction. In PBIS, we still offer consequences for problematic behavior, but the focus doesn't lie in our reaction to things once misbehavior happens. Instead, the focus is on how we prevent misbehavior from occurring in the first place. Now, as I travel the country, many educators I find criticize PBIS because they believe that the framework encourages teachers to dolly out lots of candy and stickers for things that kids should just do because they're supposed to. However, I really think that this is most likely the biggest misconception of the framework. The intent of PBIS is not to give kids stuff. Instead, the focus of PBIS is to explicitly teach and acknowledge the behavior that we want to see. We tell our students all the time what not to do, yet we see the same behavior over and over again. So why not consider focusing on what we do want them to do instead? Consider this quote by Rob Herner. He says, if a child doesn't know how to read, what do? We teach. If a child doesn't know how to swim, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to multiply, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to drive, what do? Teach. But if a child doesn't know how to behave, we punish instead of teach. Wonder why we can't finish that last sentence as automatically as we do the others. If a child doesn't know how to behave, we still have to teach. So in order to establish a school-wide plan, we really have to think about some essential steps. First, you've got to establish an effective and efficient data collection system. Office discipline referrals are a primary source of data that's used to guide implementation of PBIS. So in an effective data collection system, you should really be able to know about referrals by day and by month. So how many students are coming to the office every day and as a month, in terms of the entire month. How many students are referred to the office for a specific type of behavior? For example, do we have an issue with tardies or do we have an issue with disrespect? Where are the referrals coming from? Are they coming from the classroom? Are they coming from the cafeteria or the hallway? What students are being referred? Do we have lots of students who are being referred one time to the office, or do we have a handful of students that are constantly in the office? And when do the referrals happen? Do we have an issue with morning time or dismissal time, or is it something about after lunch time? Again, an effective data collection system should help you pinpoint all of those things so that you can really design your system to meet your needs. Secondly, you need to identify positive behavior expectations. Preparing to implement a positive behavior framework really consists of developing rules, routines, and physical arrangements that are explicitly taught by school staff to prevent misbehavior. Now, the research indicates that you really should limit your expectations to 3 to 5 core expectations that are stated positively and easy to remember. For example, the most common things are general concepts like respect and responsibility. So, as an expectation, you might say, be respectful instead of no talking back. Again, the focus should be on what you want to see, not what you don't want to see. Thirdly, you'll need to be explicit in your teaching of those behavioral expectations. So, once the expectations are defined, all students should then receive direct instruction in those behavioral concepts. So you should do this through behavioral lessons, just like you would teach reading. Those lessons should be brief, they should be meaningful to students, and they should occur in the natural setting. So if you're teaching about respect in the cafeteria, that lesson really shouldn't be taught in the classroom. Teach that lesson in the cafeteria. Also, think about how you can design systems for acknowledging the behavior you want to see. As a universal strategy, schools should develop systems to make certain that all students receive positive acknowledgement for demonstrating the appropriate positive behaviors that are outlined in the school-wide expectations. For example, schools might decide to hand out what are called like high-five tickets when a student is observed meeting a behavior expectation. So if I see you being responsible, you get a high-five ticket. And maybe then students can enter those tickets into a raffle for a prize to be drawn at the end of the week or the end of the month. Finally, make sure that you design systems for correcting misbehavior. Remember, we still have to offer consequences in a PBIS framework, but it's critical for schools to develop a uniform consequence system for correcting that misbehavior. So when implementing PBIS, all teachers need to be on the same page. So if I don't allow certain behavior in my classroom, a student should expect that in another teacher's classroom, that behavior is also not going to be allowed. That consistency is essential for students. They need to know what to expect. So we've just given you a quick overview of the essentials of positive behavior interventions and supports. There's tons more to learn about on this topic, however, so please feel free to visit our website. It's www.virtuosoed.com. There you can find many more resources and professional development opportunities to meet your needs around positive behavior supports. Thank you for watching.